Guys, welcome back to the channel. In this channel, we talk about creating a budget, getting out of debt, and building wealth. So one of the things I want to talk about today is accountability and having someone that holds you accountable. So we focus on first creating a budget and then getting out of debt and building wealth. And I think accountability can be used in each of these areas. So first, let's look at creating a budget. If you haven't watched the videos on creating a budget, I would suggest when you get a chance to check those out. But basically in our channel, creating a budget, we work with this Excel sheet to list all of our bills, your monthly payments, and then you'll have the info page where you log in your information. So as you pay your bills, as you go through and pay your bills, you'll check yes that your bill has been paid. So, always talk about your budget, your creating wealth and getting out of debt as a business. So being part of that business is you got to look at it like a business. So if you go through here and if you have someone that's close to you, someone that you trust, or even, I would even suggest maybe if you're first starting out and you're just creating a budget, to maybe find someone else, another family member or a close friend or someone else who's kind of in the same situation, and you guys do it together. And, the whole, for this channel, basically what we do is we make once a week, you'll pay your bills. And as you pay your bills, you'll come in here and check that it's been paid. So if you have that accountability partner, you can either do it together, or, you can talk briefly one day a week and say, hey, did you go in and pay your bills this week? Did you check that they've been paid? And then double check to make sure that, that you're paying all your bills in the month that you get the statement. You got to be consistent and build a solid habit of going in that one day a week and checking. And it's once you pay the bills, make sure you do the whole process. Make sure you come back, you check yes, and that you hold each other accountable and make sure that each person did it. The next phase after you create your budget is the getting out of debt. And this could take a while, depending on your debt. You each could be at different areas in this process, but you can still hold each other accountable it doesn't really matter which stage that you're at in this process. So the getting out of debt part is, you're building that solid foundation. You're basically, you're getting what this says to keep your checking account at, and that required amount to build up in the checking account is your first step. So I think one of the hard things that people have that I've been noticing is if you're getting out of debt, you created your budget, you're starting to get out of debt. And if you've always been in debt, that's a hard habit kind of to break. So as you start building this account, you start seeing yourself have money, and then you might kind of tend to like, okay, we could spend a little, but this is actually where you need to save more than ever. So by having that accountability partner and them checking and saying, hey, the goal here is to have two separate checking accounts, one for your budget and one for your bill account. And if you can have that person, like your accountability partner, say, hey, you should be at this amount, this month, your checking account should have grown to a certain amount, and you could check with each other and give each other that confidence to know that, hey, I'm doing this, because it is a daunting process. I mean, it could take a while and not being used to it. So let's just enter some amounts here. Okay, so, if you income is 5,000, expenses is 4,000, it's going to tell you to keep your checking account at 4,450. So going through this process, basically your cash flow is staying in to your checking account. So it's gonna, if you started this from the beginning, this is gonna take you about 4.5 months to get your checking account to that required amount. Once your checking account is at that required amount, it's gonna allow you to breathe some. It's gonna allow you to go in without worry and pay your bills every month. Understand that, you know, people are different. I notice that more and more, but understand this, you know, just having money in your checking account is something you may not be used to, and it's going to be hard to do that. That's why you can, you know, check with each other and help each other get to that point. This isn't, you know, this part of it, people have a hard time depending on your knowledge of finances and how things work. It's like, well, that's money just sitting there. Well, technically it's not. That money is already accounted for, as in it's basically your bills. So that's all it is. It's just a 1 month buffer to basically reverse from getting paid and paying bills to paying bills and then getting paid. Basically, that's all it is. It's a reversal. So use your accountability partner. If you guys go through this process together, you're both going to understand it. You both can make sure that you're getting to that point. And that next step in the journey is building wealth. You know, that's part of this whole process is, you know, if you did the creating budget, you're doing the getting out of debt, you're going to slowly start to understand this more and more. And by the time you get to the building wealth, just by going through the other processes is going to make it a little bit easier, because you're really going to understand and know yourself. And I think you're going to be able to help each other even in this area if you're not there yet. So once you get to the building wealth part, you know, you can share what you're trying to do, your plan with your accountability partner. And, you know, when you get to the building wealth part, especially if you went through the process, you created your budget, you've been struggling and working through that budget and learning yourself and gaining that discipline. And then the whole getting out of debt process, you know, if you had accountability partner all this time, you're going to understand and know that when you get to the creating wealth part of it, that you're going to have a solid foundation, a solid plan, just as you did with creating a budget and getting out of debt. And this can be a whole different world, because at this point it branches off into so many levels. I mean, if you're creating a budget, that's pretty, you know, it's a pretty easy process as far as creating it, knowing your 3 numbers and working that out. The getting out of debt part, that's a little bit tough. But when you come into creating wealth, there's so many different ways and levels you can branch off. And if you don't have a solid plan in the beginning, you can really easily get swayed and get thrown off track. So, you know, if you decide that, hey, real estate is what I'm going to do, and that's what, you know, you want to combine, say, real estate and dividend income and starting a business, you got to be careful that you don't start jumping around all over the place. And that's where that accountability partner can be like, hey, focus on one thing at a time, get that one thing done, and then move on to the next thing. And because it can get, you know, you could be in the middle of investing somewhere, and then you can hear news or some kind of information come out, and then you can start jumping back and forth. So that accountability partner will help you stay focused and help, you know, keep you on track. And then you can do the same to your accountability partner, and you could be an accountability partner to someone else. So guys, I hope that this helped. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. And if you found value in this video, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. You know, a thumbs up really helps the channel to grow. It helps us to reach people who may not have, you know about these kind of things, and it just is, it's an encouragement to some people and to help them get through some tough times and to learn new ways of increasing income, the discipline that it needs to take to get out of debt and to change their lives. So I thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video.